I'll call the meeting to order at 5:01. If everybody would please rise and join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Chuck, would you call the roll?
No, we have to start with, this is September the 11th, 2024. This is the Town of St. John Economic Development Committee regular meeting. So just putting that out there so that they have that for the record. So do roll call. Schultz.
Present.
Schlichting. Here. Joe Barry.
Here.
Clark.
Here.
Stoyanovich.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Bowen. I'm here. Did I miss anybody? Good.
Good. Okay, the next up is the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting. I believe everybody got them electronically, reviewed them. I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Nod.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Now we'll go to item 5, new business spotlight. It's nice to see we have somebody from Great American Bagel here. Would you like to come up and introduce yourself and tell us about the new business?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So we're here representing the Great American Bagel. It's a new franchise that we brought to the town of St. John. It is family-owned, so my name is Nahum Flores. This is Eben Flores. He's my brother. He's the one managing the business. This is Amelia Walker. She's my girlfriend. And our mother, Elizabeth Flores, she's also co-managing the business with Eben. So what we offer, I will let Eben handle.
We offer pretty much anything you guys could think of for breakfast, lunch. We have soups, just about anything for anybody. We are open till 5 p.m. on the weekdays, 4 p.m. on Saturdays, and 3:30 on Sundays. You can meet us anywhere after 6 a.m. We would be there, ready to give you guys whatever you guys are hungry for.
Great. Great. Anybody have any questions for them over there?
I've already been checking out your menu, and I saw you have a lot more than just bagels.
Yes, we did bring some menus as well.
Great.
We can leave with you guys. We do offer catering as well, so any events that the town has, we can definitely cater to that.
Great. So would you come on up? We're going to take a picture with you with this.
Of course.
Everybody come on down. Let's do it.
Guys are cute. Squeeze in, squeeze in. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. Okay.
Thank you very much for coming. Welcome.
You're welcome.
Congratulations. Somebody visits us rarely. I love a lot of bagels, so hopefully you
We have a lot, yes.
have lots of capers.
Are you officially opened?
Yes, we opened 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Jim. Okay, next up is new old business, and of course, the Chris Kindle Market. For that, I'll turn it over to Chuck.
Well, thank you. So let's, we'll just kind of run through this. Somebody came up with a great idea of doing this, even though we were short on time and limited on budget, but you approved it anyway, so now we have to make this happen. So I know we have a couple of people that have submitted just sort of lists of questions and concerns, and that's been we've got an outline of things that we need to go over. So I think we just kind of consider this just open discussion time, just to kind of go over where we are with things. Shelby and Rebecca from the Farmers Market have been super helpful with giving us lots of information about how they do things there. And I think sort of Amy and I have both chatted with them, and kind of the idea was they have a good thing going. Let's just keep, sort of, let's go with what works with them. So I have an outline from Rebecca, and then I think, who sent the list of questions? Did you? So you have your list of questions. So, and you hit both of you hit most of the important things that, you know, the obvious things for an event like this. So where we're at is, obviously the biggest concern is funding. So we don't have a funding mechanism, so we have to get creative. Most of the things that we're going to run up against as far as, you know, all the normal questions about trash and porta potties and all these things, the town, parks department, different entities in the town will be providing all those things. So all those costs that we normally would have, you know, it will essentially kind of be an extension of the Christmas in the Park event, so they will help us with a lot of that. So as far as funding, as far as costs go, costs should be fairly minimal at this point. Obviously, that's one of the goals, is to pull off an event and not spend any money. So, so kind of the idea was, I think we're at the point where we want to do it very similar to how the farmer's market works, as far as how the location and everything. Like I said, they've got a great process in place. You know, so the idea would be we would lean on Shelby and Rebecca to help us with that. So they would just, again, treat it sort of as an extension of the farmer's market. So obviously, you know, you've got a lot of questions about vendors and things like that. They have a whole process in place as far as applications and vetting. And so again, same idea. We're going to essentially take their philosophy for the farmer's market and apply that towards the vetting process. All of those sorts of things will generally just kind of go with what, you know, the experts have suggested to us. So I don't know if we want to start with kind of just questions or thoughts or anything like that.
Sarah, you have something?
So is the farmer's market individuals coordinating this then?
Well, they're not coordinating. They're going to essentially be on staff to help with the logistics. So essentially, you know, again, with that parking lot, the flow, the process, they will essentially help us manage that, so we don't have to come in sort of and figure it out on the fly the day of. They, like I said, they have a very good process, a very good routine. They know what works, what doesn't. And so a lot of this will be essentially, you know, us working with them on that. So that's kind of the way, again, at the end of the day, they know how to do it. Let's let them do what they do best with that. So that's kind of the way I look at it is, you know, as far as the vendor part of it, figuring out spaces and the layout and everything, just let them do what they do. And then if anything doesn't fit that mold, we'll adjust accordingly. So I assume most people have been to the farmer's market. Same layout, same parking lot. The only sort of differences would be we, you know, obviously have more decorations, things like that. Entertainment, we talked about having maybe the Lake Central Choir, if they're available, and anything sort of Christmas related, you know, to come and provide entertainment. And again, I mean, this is an open palette, so anybody that has ideas as far as entertainment or things to do, you know, a lot of the stuff will be sort of donated. So like questions about the sound system, I will manage that. So I will basically bring that the day of. I'd like to bring in sort of, maybe have some sort of like a Christmas display. I still play with trains, so I'll bring some trains in and have some Christmas trains. And if anybody has like a Christmas, you know, town, village, or anything like that, that they could set up for the day, that'd be great. But anything Christmas related, just to kind of help set the mood, would be great.
I did speak to the choir director at the high school. He said that he's not started figuring out their caroling schedule yet.
Okay.
He doesn't usually do that until later in October. He did say that they give priority to nursing homes and assisted living facilities first. As long as none of those places ask for the same date and time, that he thinks that it should work. But he won't be able to give us a final answer probably for another month.
Okay. Well, I'll let you work with them on that and just kind of see how that goes. I mean, that'd be great. And if not, I'm sure there's 4 or 5 other groups that we could reach out to put together
Sure.
some sort of choir group or caroling group or something like that. And obviously, I mean, the goal would be, so as far as the way that this would work is we will be doing vendor payments, obviously, and that will essentially, the way this will work is that's managed by the clerk treasurer's office. So these people will write checks to the clerk treasurer. It will go in line item. It will go into an account that will essentially be our budget. So as far as looking at what the budget would be for this event, it will essentially be whatever, you know, how many vendors we have times the $50 for the time period. So as far as like carolers, we'd love to make a donation to them for their time, and anybody else who comes, you know, we'd like to make donations to them sort of as part of that.
That would be part of the expenses.
That would be, yeah, so that would be part of the expenses. But as far as, again, things like the porta potties and things like that, those will be provided. So a lot of this will be provided, a lot of this will be on a volunteer basis. So the goal would be, all of those basic expenses of an event will essentially be covered various ways through the town. Which, again, will be kept minimal, so it's basically porta potties, garbage, basic functions that the Parks Department would handle and things like that. So, obviously, one of the other things is I'd like to lean heavily on this group to volunteer for the event, or volunteer however you'd like, to help out. A lot of it will just be logistics and, kind of going around, meeting and greeting, and making sure everybody's got what they need and make sure everything's working. Again, leaning heavily on Shelby and Rebecca to manage that, but, it's always good to have extra hands around to keep an eye on, make sure the trash doesn't get too full and things like that.
Date set.
So we're doing December 1st, which is Sunday, December 1st. The town will have their fireworks on that Thursday, so that's the opening weekend of Christmas in the Park, so we thought that'd be a good time. We looked at all of the other events, like Cherville and all the other events, and so far we haven't found anybody whose event conflicts with ours, so that's good as far as for finding vendors, because a lot of vendors will want to go to the ones that they know and not want to take a risk on something new. So as of right now, we don't see any neighboring communities or anybody like that that's having a December 1st event. So that seems to be the logical choice. I think it's early enough where we're not going to have any sort of competing events nearby.
Do we have a time in mind on the first yet?
So we were looking at essentially 10 to 4, right? So essentially 10 to 4, reason being, it's a little bit earlier, it's a little bit shorter than a typical farmer's market, but obviously it gets dark earlier, so we don't want people to, one of the big hassles would be the lighting. We don't know the full lighting situation, how good the lighting is in that parking lot. But I mean, obviously, we don't want people to have to be packing up in the dark and things like that. So the idea is, if we're done at 4, sunset's about an hour later, or whatever it was, so it gives ample time to clean up before it gets dark. And obviously, we don't want people to get there super early, because again, same idea, it'll be cold. So the idea is that we open for 6 hours. We give the vendors, if they need an hour, 2 hours beforehand, and then whatever they need, we assume an hour or 2 to clean up afterwards.
For entertainment, would we do time slots? Like 10 to 12, 12 to 2, 2 to 4?
Sure, I mean, we can certainly do that. And that's sort of the thing is, we can do time slots. If the choir says, here's the time we can be there, then that's what we work with. We can look at it in terms of having basically people that, like carolers can kind of come and go. If you want to have, obviously, one of the limitations that we have in this parking lot is we're very limited on power, so we can't, have like a stage and lights and all kinds of fancy stuff that we'd, want to do in a bigger event. So it'll basically be sort of limited to what we can do sound-wise and things like that. But obviously, anything holiday related, anybody that would want to come, whatever they're performing, whatever time frame, if they need 30 minutes, an hour, or whatever, we can kind of work with that. So as far as if the group has ideas for musical acts or anybody like that, obviously, again, budget's limited, so somebody wants $500 to be there, it's probably not going to work, so.
Well, they usually,
Oh, sorry.
no, they usually have a tent set up, usually with microphones but I think the singers the performers bring their own on Sundays. I think they have the tent, Shelby and Rebecca have a tent set up for them, but then they bring their own equipment. But you had said you would take care of the sound system, so I would think if the choir wanted to, they would be able to sing into whatever microphone
Sure.
and speaker you bring.
So as far as if the choir came and wanted to sing, we'd have microphones for them. If they wanted to walk around and carol, they could do that. You're right. If somebody, let's say somebody that plays a guitar wanted to come, and they would bring their own equipment and plug into the speakers and that kind of
Okay.
thing, which I would coordinate all that.
Okay.
So anybody that does, again, holiday-related entertainment, we can start thinking about who that would be or how that would work. Ideally, again, volunteers or somebody that will take a donation would be ideal before we start paying out to do that.
Seeing that we have a time frame here, what would be the next step as far as getting vendors? How are we going to have applications and stuff
Well,
like that?
so essentially, if there are no concerns or objections, the idea would be we move forward using Shelby and Rebecca and obviously, the existing town resources to put together, essentially taking their forms, again, how they do things. They have a vetting process, a vendor form, all that thing. We basically just take those, rebrand them for us, and then just start working on, branding and things like that for them. They would like us to get flyers to them so they can get those to their vendors before the end of their season. Obviously, you know, people that they know and work with, they'd like to have them back if they're interested. Some of them do Christmas-related things, and, you know, some of them don't. Obviously, fruit vendors and things like that probably aren't going to want to come back. But I think we were looking at approximately, was it 40 slots altogether, something like that, 40 to 50?
I think there's a total of 50, but some of the vendors take up multiple
They
spaces.
double up, right?
The gentleman that has all of the flowers has about 5 spaces. So if we were to do, if some of the decoration vendors or things needed multiple spaces, they said maybe just plan on 42.
Right, so approximately 40, and then if somebody asks for a couple of extra spaces, we give them to them. I mean, obviously, being the first year, I don't expect people to be beating down the door to do this. So, you know, even if we get 40, I'd be happy at that, you know, that number, 30 or 40.
I have talked to a couple of the regulars at the farmer's market, and they were interested. So once we
Fantastic.
have applications available, they told me to let them know.
Great, okay. Well, and I think, again, anybody that's existing will just sort of, they'll sign off on them, say, okay, they're existing vendor, no issues, take them and put them in the list, and that'll get us started, and then we can kind of go from there.
And you said the one guy takes 5 spots. Now, if he's there all day, does he spend $500 to be there?
I don't know what they charge him.
Okay.
I'm going to assume that he just, I don't know. I'm
just
not going to
wondered
even
with
guess.
Whatever, because like, just say somebody came and wanted to sell trees and you needed.
Right.
that, And the $100 is for the whole day. I just wondered how that worked.
Well, and I know they do seasonal things like that, so they do a sort of a package deal where you're not paying every week, sort of things like that, so.
Okay.
But, I mean, obviously, like I said, there is ample space, so unless we get 40-plus people wanting space, we should be able to have enough extra to give extra space as needed.
Okay.
Most people, I assume, just need their normal tent space, but I think there's enough room there to do that if we need to.
Okay. Anybody else have anything?
Fee to park, fee for admission?
Nope, nothing like that.
We should probably do something, photos with Santa to get the kids out there too.
Yeah, well, and so the other thing I didn't want to do was obviously step on anything that we're already doing in the park. I think they generally just do that on Saturdays, so I think we should be good on that. So I don't know if you have a Santa suit, if you're volunteering.
I'm sure I can
I mean, I can get you one.
try to find one, yeah.
If that's what you want to volunteer to do. But yeah, no, I think that would be neat. I mean, I'd also think it would be neat if we could do some sort of, if somebody could do some sort of, let's just call it like a display that people could come in and take pictures with. Something
Like a
that.
photo
Oh.
opportunity
Like a Christmas photo
space.
booth space, right. But obviously, again, you know, anything that, it has to be able to be something that they can set up quickly that morning and have it ready, and something that could be torn down quickly. You know, I don't think they're going to want us to be in that parking lot for 3 or 4 days building set pieces and things like that, so.
Photo booths are usually, you know, pretty simple.
Well, I almost think of this as like a larger live photo booth, sort of larger than, you know, something bigger than a booth, like basically having, you know, some
A
sort of
scene.
a scene. that
Some
you
kind of a
come-
backdrop.
Right, a backdrop and a scene, and again, you know, I'm sure there's somebody out there that has way too much Christmas stuff they can bring for the day, or something like that, we can go pick up from them and borrow.
It'd be nice to have something that's like a piece that's always there every year. Like so, for example, I think in the Cedar Lake Farmers Market, there's like this little it's like almost like a wagon type of thing. It's kind of like right in the middle, and people take pictures of it, and it's usually some variation of that. You know, it'd be nice to have something like
Right,
that.
or even maybe multiple small sets like that,
Yes.
where you have a wagon and a backdrop, and, you know, again, you know, the other thing that we face, again, is it could be 80 degrees, or it could be 10 below and snowing, so we always have that wild card to deal with. But obviously, the hope is, you know, the weather will be favorable, and people will want to hang out and do stuff like that.
Early enough in December, hopefully it would be.
Yeah, I would think so. Normally, we've had good weather for that weekend. So yeah, I mean, again, same idea, that's a great idea, and we just have to figure out, you know, without spending any money, how to pull that off.
Yeah. What if, I might be able to get somebody, it'd be nice to get some footage throughout the day of people just, so for social media
Sure.
and everything like
Yeah.
that. Whether it's reels or video content, anything like that, it'd be nice to get some footage of the entire event.
Right.
So I can definitely work on that as well.
Great. Well, and we're gonna, I mean, obviously, we don't have socials, so you'll be working through Parks Department and Clerk Treasurer's Office and all the existing Facebook pages, so they've sort of volunteered to promote using that, and obviously, it'd be nice to do a follow-up video, or, you know, whatever social medias the town has to say what a great
Yeah.
success the event was, so that'd be great.
While we're
Sorry.
on the topic of that, Joe, do you send the pictures to anybody
Well,
post
last
on
time
the.
Bill took them and he sent them to me, but then that was it. He had them. So I would assume I'd send it to Bill. The town gets these things when,
Maybe we need to send them to the clerk treasurer's office, because the town manager doesn't have their own Facebook page. It's the Parks Department and the clerk treasurer that really post a lot on social media. So maybe we can send them to the clerk treasurer's office with the pictures, and they can post, the following businesses have been presented with Welcome to St. John certificates at the Economic Development Committee meetings or something like that. Just because we take the pictures, I feel like we should put them out there, and then it'll help the
figured.
residents know too. Because I've not seen them anywhere, that's why I wondered.
well, Bill's taken them. I assume he's got it for the town manager. That would be it. So we go to a different look. You want to go with the clerk treasurer?
Yeah, they have the Facebook page. I think that'd be the best.
Yeah, they could share it
They
on
promote
social
a
media.
lot of the local businesses. I think it'd be the best bet.
I had two thoughts, kind of nuts and bolts kind of thoughts on the Chris Kindle market. One is I'm very intrigued by that idea of having a photo set up for people to take pictures. I love that idea, hashtag St. John Chris Kindle or whatever. Any way we can get the word out. I wonder if it would be worthwhile approaching either somebody who teaches art or somebody in the theater department, maybe at Lake Central, about, do you have students who would be interested in putting together something like this? So I wonder if that might be something to investigate. The other thing I want to throw out there is I am directly across the street from the farmer's market every Sunday morning. So if we happen to end up needing a little extra area for staging room, there is room at that end of the church parking lot closer to Kyleman. If we need a spot for people who are working to come in and go somewhere warm, we can make that available. So we have a big facility right across the street from the
Fantastic.
event. So should we need, let's say we get 50 vendors.
Right.
I'll say, we've got the West Annex over there, whatever the case may be. But I just want to put that out there as we can make some space either in the parking lot or inside available.
Do you have really long extension cords? Because that would be helpful.
Probably not that
Across the
old.
street, that probably wouldn't fly. But no, that's a great idea, and hopefully that will be a problem that we'll run into, is it will outgrow this space and immediately have to start borrowing space from you. Well, thank you, yeah, definitely let's keep that in mind as well.
Do you know if the town has portable heaters that we could borrow?
It doesn't look like they do.
Okay.
I will ask Billy again about that, if they can look into that. Again, I think we're basically just at the mercy of the weather at this one. I don't want to overcomplicate it and have tents and, it would be, if we have something like that, it'd be great to bring it out. Obviously, safety being a concern, I think the days of setting garbage cans on fire and doing stuff like that is kind of out these days, so, but, if anybody wants to bring their little, portable heaters or whatever they have, that'd be fine, or somebody has your backyard fire pit with a cover on it that you can bring out and start fire in there, that'd be great too.
Good. Anybody else got anything?
Police department needed for
Um,
crowd control,
They,
traffic?
they generally don't have anybody there. They have somebody that manages to make sure there is one area of the parking lot that's off limits to us, because they still have the,
Urgent care?
the urgent care is open, so there's somebody that manages making sure that people that don't park there. Other than that, police would obviously be welcome if they want to stop in, but they don't generally require it or is it needed. But if, we can certainly put that out there so they know to, stay close in case they're needed.
Okay. Anything else? All right, so I guess we motion to go forward with this, right?
Yeah, I think that'd be, so do we want to make a motion on that? I mean, we approved the
We
event.
vote to look into it,
To look
right?
into it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just make it official.
So let's make a motion to approve the Economic Development Committee hosting a Chris Kindle Market on Sunday, December 1st here in St. John.
Second?
I'll second.
Second, Ed? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Fantastic, thank you.
So now going forward, you will gather up what you two guys are handling this, so gather up so that when we meet again, we'll have more information
Yeah.
as far as applications and how we're doing and all this.
Yeah, so time-wise, I think we will probably need to have all of that to them. I think we had talked about their season ends in October, so we need to get that to the farmer's market people soon, so we need to sort of move forward with all of that
Right.
in the next couple of weeks.
Right.
So basically, at the next meeting, we'll be presenting where we're at with,
Mhm.
with all of that, and hopefully we'll have some vendors signed up and things like that.
Wonderful. Okay, reports and correspondence. Anybody else got anything else other than the Kindle? No? Okay.
We should also mention we have another business open today, the Chipotle opened in town
Ah,
today.
excellent.
Yes.
nice.
So they're finally open, and we've heard good things, that things are going well for them today.
Good.
So maybe we can have our next meeting there, if that's okay with you guys. Or we can have it, have bagels, either way.
They didn't bring samples.
They did not bring,
Okay, anybody for the committee have any? There's no public comment, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
I'm entertaining.
Oh,
You want to
okay.
make it, though?
Sure, I'll make a motion that we
Who wants
adjourn.
to second?
I'll second.
Sarah, okay. All in favor?
Aye.